Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever and skyrocket your confidence along the way. In this episode, we're going to be talking about slowing our thoughts down, which is an extremely important attribute of a confident communicator. Now, depending on the context we're speaking about, slowing down is not always a good thing. If you're someone who's running a race today and you're winning, and you could hear your coach from the sidelines saying, "Johnny, slow down. Go on, slow down." You're going to hear the advice and immediately you're going to be like, "Man, this coach is an idiot. I'm winning. Why would I slow down for?" And for you to think your coach is an idiot is an extremely smart move, because if you heed his advice, then you will lose the race. Let's switch this situation. Let's imagine that you're public speaking in front of 600 people. Now you're extremely nervous. You're feeling a whole bunch of speech anxiety. Your mouth is getting dry. Your knees are trembling. And all the nerves are causing you to speak a little too fast. You could see your public speaking coach from the first row, and he's mouthing to you, "Slow down, slow down." In this situation, it would be extremely wise of you to heed his advice, because when you're speaking a little too fast, other people are not capable of processing your points. Now, with that being said, in terms of thoughts, do we want it to be fast or do we want it to be slow? A little bit of both. We don't want it to be so slow to a point where anytime someone asks us a question, we're taking 5 minutes to respond back. I'm sure you know some people like that. You ask them something and they give you this extremely puzzled look where it seems as though the question you asked is one of the most stupid questions out there. In reality, it's not stupid. They're just taking a whole lot of time to process what you just asked. We don't necessarily want to be in a situation like that where it takes us too long. On the other hand, if we think a little too fast, then it's extremely difficult to concentrate. And if you were to ask me, nowadays, most people don't have a problem with the first scenario where they're thinking extremely slow. They have a problem with the latter scenario where they're thinking extremely fast. The information age is what I also call the instant gratification age, also known as the scrolling age. People are going from one content piece to the next, and each of the content pieces are completely disparate from one another. This is causing people to condition a distraction muscle into their lives. So most people don't have a problem with thinking too slow. They have a problem with thinking too fast. And when you think too fast, one of the biggest problems is that your mouth follows suit. You ever seen one of those people who's extremely jittery? Whenever they open their mouth, it gets you extremely nervous because they're rushing through every single word. No strategic pauses in their playbook. This is an issue. In this era, the information era, it's more important than ever to slow our thoughts down. This is why each one of us should incorporate the whole art of writing by hand. This is an art because you'll see that it requires a whole bunch of moving variables to come into alignment. One, you got to fix your posture. If you're someone who's writing by hand with your back bent, your chin all droopy, then I doubt you'll last even 10 minutes. Another variable that you need to work on is your memory. If you're just writing and you're not engaging your memory at all, then a lot of the writing that you're going to be creating is not going to make any sense at all. Now, granted, we don't want to turn this into some sort of logical act where we're microanalyzing every single word. But if you're supposed to be writing, and let's say you're going down memory lane, immediately your memory banks get engaged. Another variable that you need to work on is motor skills. don't get it twisted. The whole art of holding a pen and writing with it requires precision. For the first couple of sessions, you're going to feel a little bit of pain in your forearms. Completely normal. Continue on regardless. To make this easier for yourself, ditch ballpoint pens for gel pens. Gel pens got this smooth little slide to it, which makes it feel so effortless. Not quite effortless in the beginning stages, but the more that you work on it, the better that it gets. The tougher that you're making the whole writing by hand process on yourself in the beginning stages, the more you slow your thoughts down. It's because in these moments, you are forced to understand what is in your mind, and then you are forced to articulate it through this written word. So a lot of discomfort in the beginning stages of writing by hand is needed to slow your thoughts down. And the more that you practice this skill set and you incorporate it into your life, sort of like brushing your teeth, the more that you'll notice that in this information age that we're living in, the instant gratification age, no longer are you being the person that's floating from one thought to the next to the next. Nowadays, you have much more control over what you think. And when you have control over what you think, you have more control over how you speak. So take some time to find different mechanisms to slow your thoughts down. Every now and then, you can slow it down by articulating, but I believe that you got to make it a little difficult for yourself in the beginning stages. And writing by hand is definitely one of those moves which are not easy. It's difficult. Difficult is good because difficult isn't easy. If it was easy, then it would be fast. And the title of today's video is to learn how to think slow. So slow your thoughts down and become more articulate in the process. It all starts with a gel pen and a notepad. Thank you for joining the ArmaniTalks podcast, and I'll catch you on the next episode.